Hillsboro, Oregon, the Greater Portland for another edition of the Les Schwab Invitational. Currently at the half in the final game of the evening session here on this Sunday evening. Montverde Academy, a 13-point lead, 41-28 over the Lakers of Lake Oswego. Ben Simmons, the #1 player in the country. He's got 23 points from the first. As Johnson for Lake Oswego with 21 points to keep the Lakers within striking distance. Montverde with the ball to start things in the second half. Simmons turning, shooting. That one is a Washington battling for the rebound, but it's Johnson to bring it down for Laco. Goes over to Rodney Hounshell. Ben Simmons, 10 for 12 from the floor in that first half. Pulling inside, now Graver comes up with it. Johnson, that's a three. That one is back off the right iron, and it's pulled out of the air. Thrown down court. Oh, that's a monster slam with the right hand. What a throwdown by Darius Moore.
That's a nice pass to set that up as well.
Athleticism display again for Montverde. Todd, turnaround handoff to Johnson. Mentioned his 21 points, splits the double team. Over to Hounshell from the left wing. That one's off the back iron. Simmons claims his 7th rebound of the evening. Lob up ahead. Oh, look out below. Moore flushes it down over Drew Todd.
That's just not fair.
Dunks, unreal. Isn't this when the Monstars got really big and started taking the Toon squad to town? Look at that. Jazz Johnson inside and draws the foul.
I don't think they have Jordan, though, coming in for Lake Oswego.
And there's no secret water going to be used in this one either. Look at this slam by Moore with the right hand.
Looks like he hit his face on the backboard.
And then once more, the beautiful lob. Get up, big fella. 45-23, Montverde now back comfortably in front. Excuse me, 45-28. Johnson sees the double, gets rid of it. That's a three-pointer, and it's Parker. Zach Parker now has 5 points on the evening. Panitka holding left wing. Washington over to Moore baseline. He goes up for it again. This time Todd altered the shot. Simmons claims the rebound. Good defense by Drew Todd. They'll reset out to Cameron. Swings it. Washington's open for three and hits. Howard Washington from downtown. See Lake Oswego breathing a little bit more heavy now with each possession. Jazz Johnson double team, but he gets rid of it to Parker. Fresh off hitting his three. Here comes a double team, and Washington tips and steals. Here we go. He slams it home. Washington not blessed with the natural 6'8" height of some of his peers, but he's still able to get up at 6'5" and throw that one down with two hands. Montverde another steal. Up ahead to Simmons. He collects. Baseline. Pump fakes. Slams it with two hands.
Such power underneath and control. That pass, he wasn't even really looking, and he can still make a play after losing control of the ball.
Unreal. Parker, a three on the other end for Lake Oswego. That's no good. Graver chasing down the rebound, but he runs into Panitka, and it goes out of bounds. And officials say it will stay right here with Lake Oswego. Panitka doesn't like it, but Lake Oswego is going to hold the ball down here, trailing by 21. That's Washington with the finish. And Simmons, you mentioned his collecting, his composure, lets the traffic clear and slams it with authority. With a 21-point lead, things have started to calm down in this third quarter now. Oh, Simmons wants to flush it with the other hand, can't do it. Oppenheimer got it his way, and he keeps it in play to Drew Todd. When Simmons passed that ball to Washington, they were both on the same page. Johnson unloads from three and hits. Jazz Johnson's got 24 points. Simmons with 27 points. Make it 29 and the foul.
Such a tough defense right there. Simmons able to elevate, tried to push him out of the way, still was able to gather it, put it down, and he'll shoot the free throw.
Simmons from the line in that first half was 3 for 4. 23 points and 6 rebounds in the first half alone for Ben Simmons, to go along with 4 assists and a steal.
So like they're going to call an intentional foul on that.
Ooh, an intentional foul as well. It'll mean free throws and the basketball for Montverde. Drew Todd will check off the floor. No, he'll just talk with his teammate instead. More will come off for Montverde. And the big 7'4" man down low. Re-check into the game for Montverde Academy. Cameron sends it out wide to Washington, leans into a three-pointer, can't get it to go. The rebound and the flush. Kamaji at 7'4" has no problems cleaning up the miss. Johnson breaks the pressure, tipped away. And the finish with the right hand.
He looked a little shaky on that one.
He did, a little unsure. He probably hasn't been in the open floor as much as some of his teammates. Oppenheimer the pump. Oh, that one's swatted away by Kumaji at 7'4", and a foul. Now it's going the other way. An offensive foul called against Kumaji.
So he cleared off with his offhand through an elbow.
It's only natural for someone of his stature. Oswego will keep the ball, now down 59-34. 25-point edge. Johnson to bring it up. Oppenheimer sets the screen, and a foul call. Going against Montverde.
Having watched both Wheeler and Montverde for a couple of games, it's going to be an interesting matchup if those teams are able to make it all the way to the championship game. Very contrasting styles.
Parker slides in, can't get it going. It's interesting you mentioned that, PJ, because both teams have been open about the fact that they want to face the other in the championship game, having just met on December 23rd, and Wheeler getting the upper hand in that one. It was a 72-65 victory for number 10 Wheeler in the City of Palms Classic in Fort Lauderdale over Ben Simmons and Montverde. Simmons has had himself a nice invitational as he pours in another free throw. 27 points and 12 rebounds in the 71-39 win over Westview. And his quote after that game, when he was talking about Wheeler, said, "I hope they get the final game, and I hope we do. It's just one of those games at City of Palms. It wasn't our best game, but we know we can play a lot better than that." They're looking for that potential rematch. Full court press being set. Oppenheimer collects, and he breaks the timeline. Scoots a pass on over for Graver. A high arcing shot. Excuse me, that was Sean Elliott. No good. Simmons in transition. Here's the pass. Coming along strong. The left-handed finish is up and good.
Nice ball movement there. Good break. Was able to kind of come under control, wait for the trailer, and find him for the open layup.
That was Letcher Ellis with the finish. Parker, a pump fake from three, doesn't like it. Simmons reaches out to touch it away, but Parker recollects. Elliott, Oppenheimer, pump fakes, doesn't like it there. We'll reach it out to Balmer. Balmer at 5'9". Just the smallest one by about a foot on the floor against Montverde. Johnson against Simmons. He wants to take him. Instead, he'll give it up to Parker. Inside he comes, and that one is swatted away, but first a foul called, and Parker will go to the line.
That was a good move right there. He had a little spin into the lane. Was able to get it up, and now he'll shoot a couple free throws.
For Lake Oswego, they're here via a victory over Peninsula, 59-53 yesterday morning, to come here against Montverde. The winner of this will take on Central Catholic, and it was one of the surprises as you get a look at Parker. Not much there, but enough to send him to the line. And Kumaji at 7'4", swatting it away. And Zach will get one more. Puts that in too. Talk about that Central Catholic program that got that win over Rainier Beach. Central Catholic, of course, winning the state championship in football a season ago and doing it again this year. And now their basketball team is off to an undefeated 8-0 start, including this big win over Rainier Beach this afternoon.
Yeah, their basketball team won the state championship 2 years ago, or was at the championship game, lost to West Lynn the championship game 2 years ago. So
success across the board with all those programs as Simmons gets two more. Jazz Johnson scoots his way through, and he's fouled in transition.
I think Oswego needs to continue to attack the middle there, getting a lot of sagging when they're able to do that, and then kick it out for those open three-pointers.
Manually keeping statistics for Ben Simmons. He's got 34 points now in this game. Oppenheimer will hand it off. Harris is right in the gut of Johnson. Not enough room to pull the trigger. Elliott guarded by Simmons. Johnson turns, spins, crossover, trying to find Oppenheimer. Barely does. Throws it into the corner, and it's stolen. Up ahead it comes to Fletcher Ellis, and he comes inside. A little Euro step, no travel, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line.
That was a nice, strong move there. Able to let the defender clear, step behind him, and then get up to the rim.
A couple of players that we haven't seen yet in this one is Noah Dickerson, the 6'7" senior, who is already signed with the University of Florida, as well as E.J. Montgomery, the 6'9" freshman, who's undecided. But of course, being a freshman, we got plenty of time to make that decision. Howard Washington, we've called his name many times, a 6'3" junior. He's got Memphis, Miami, Virginia, and the Hokies of Va Tech all calling. Todd comes off the floor, as does Hauser. For Lake Oswego. Todd breaks the timeline against the defensive Kumaji. Nearly threw it away. Is it off Houndshell? It is, and it's Montverde ball. 66-36. Hard not to get a little lethargic with this game now well out of hand. But you do think back to the second quarter when Lake Oswego was down by near 20 points, and they cut it all the way down to 7 before Ben Simmons went on a personal 6-0 run in about 15 seconds. There's a pull-up three-pointer. Nothing but the bottom. Ty Graves.
This full-court double-teaming press is really causing problems for Lake Oswego. Trying to get the ball to Johnson, their best ball handler. One thing I've really been impressed with Johnson is his court vision, his ability to get into the lane and find open players. He's drawn a lot of attention, and he's been able to get his shot off when he needs to, but he's also been able to find players, and it's not always the simple pass. It's finding somebody out in the corner. It's a no-look pass, and he's just done a great job. He'll do a lot of good things for U of P.
Similar to what we saw out of Peyton Pritchard in the game just before, with a team's ability to really focus on one guy, then it means you've got to be able to get the ball to a bunch of your other teammates. Johnson's in the position to do that now. Pritchard did that successfully in the game just prior to this as the state champion West Lynn Lions were able to get the win in advance.
I think they call that foul on Johnson, an offensive foul.
Ooh, maybe a little push off, but when a 7'4" guy's coming your way, you don't hardly blame him. Simmons is fouled. He'll go to the line for a couple free throws. Currently a 33-point lead for Montverde. Yesterday, of course, with the 71-39 win over Westview. Simmons spoke after the game. Said he was excited about the amount of different people that were coming to the tournament, including NBA players, Nike people, Adidas. You just try to get energy off those type of people. And he was playing in front of some NBA people yesterday with a handful of the Blazers in attendance. Damian Lillard, Wes Matthews, Alan Crabb, Will Barton, all there. And the Blazers, meanwhile, they can't come tonight. They're busy with the New York Knicks at the Moda Center.
I don't know if you call that busy with the way they, I think it was a 22-point victory for them.
Jazz Johnson breaks the pressure up the floor. He hasn't been able to get many shots off. Scoots it on over to Parker. Three-pointer for Graver. That one's off the left side. And Ellis pulls down the rebound. In stride, crosses over. Wanted to go with the no-look pass. Tipped away, though. It's stolen. And the favor is returned, although that one goes out of bounds. Portland 101. The New York Knicks 79. As you get a look at another two-handed flush by Ben Simmons. Cleveland Cavaliers had a big letdown today. 21-point loss to the Detroit Pistons. That one was at home in Cleveland. Simmons spinning his way inside. You cannot replicate that.
His body control is outstanding.
Johnson absorbs contact. He'll go to the line for two. Indeed, for a guy that stands 6'8", to be able to control himself in the air the way he just displayed in front of the faithful inside the gym at Liberty High School, that is impressive. I mentioned the Cavaliers. Of course, Kevin Love, a member of the Cavaliers, a Lake Oswego alum, and an alum of the Les Schwab Invitational. And he played here when Kyle Singler was down at South Medford. Some of the best memories of the LSI when those two teams and those two players were going at it. They met often in the state championship games as well at Matt Court and Eugene. They both have went on to really stellar NBA careers. Extra pass to the outside. That one's tipped away by Parker and out of bounds. Montverde will collect it again as we're in the final seconds of the third quarter. The Academy of Montverde. Ben Simmons to finish it. That's no good. Final shot won't count. No problem for the Eagles down the stretch. Montverde 74, Lake Oswego 38. A dominant third period for Montverde Academy, the #1 team in the nation and the #1 player in the nation. Ben Simmons is approaching 40 points on the night. And he is headlining this invitational in style as Montverde hopes to inch ever closer to the title game, PJ. It's been nothing but impressive athleticism, sometimes on both ends of the floor, but most often Montverde and fast breaks and the way that they play defense, it's incredible.
Yeah, you know, coach has got to be telling them, hey, you know, we're dominating some of these teams right now, but we got to stay fresh, you got to stay right, so that when you get to the semifinals and possibly that championship game, that they're ready to go. So they need to make sure that they keep focused during these times when they feel like they've got these games in hands and not get too sloppy.
Coach Boyle was quoted as saying, we probably could have won by a lot more. Talking about the win yesterday, well, I think his message to his team is they're going to go ahead and let loose after that third quarter, early into this fourth quarter. They're going to go ahead and let themselves win by as much as they'd like to in this game and try to let anything that needs to be ironed out. Ben Simmons has been outstanding in this one.
Such a challenge just to even get the ball in bounds. And he put a 7-footer out there, trying to get the ball into Johnson.
Jazz had a quiet third quarter after 21 points in the first half. He loses the ball here, but it's a whistle and a foul called. And a lot of the fans are starting to exit the premises. They've seen their fill of Ben Simmons in Montverde Academy. Appreciate what they had to see, and now trying to beat the traffic.
Yeah, I think Coach probably talked about Jazz Johnson and saying, hey, we can't let this guy beat us. So I'm sure that was the halftime talk, and they've come out and made some adjustments to try to take him away.
It is 1-1 for Jazz Johnson, and after that first one, Mason Daniels came from the high block and aggressively boxed out Johnson, who just shot and made the free throw. And he misses that one. Rebound pulled out of the air by Umazurki. I'm really just guessing, but it sounds right.
We'll give it to you.
You say it fast enough, no one will care. Houndshell is able to find that pass and tip it away and out of bounds. Right in front of our baseline cameraman. Getting excellent shots from every angle in this gym here on Portland SportsBeat. Outstanding coverage of this invitational. Putting it up and in is Umazurki for two. 76-39. It will be Montverde and Central Catholic tomorrow night in the semifinal. Johnson to three. That one's good. Anytime he gets a little bit of space, PJ, it's going down.
Yeah, he has the ability to just pull the trigger from anywhere. And he's able to just create that space. He doesn't need a lot of it, like you said. He can just, one dribble pull up. Off the dribble, he's able to just kind of get what he needs to get his shot off, which is amazing for a guy who's not really the tallest guy on the court. Standing at just 5'10", going up against guys who are 7 foot and taller, to be able to get your shot off in times like that, it's definitely a very good skill.
He'll send this one over to Houndshell on the right wing. Now Parker dribble drive inside. That one had no chance. Moore swatted it away at about shoulder level. Now in transition, moving with the ball is Daniels. Into the post for Umazurki. A long pivot. Handoff. There's a flush for Moore. Terrell Moore, the 7-footer. Sends it home. 2 more for him.
A couple years ago, we got to see Aaron Gordon. And Simmons is a lot like Gordon was from out of Bishop Gorman. Able to run that point forward, do a lot of things on the floor. The team really relies on him. So
Parker sent that one up short. Not a goaltend because not close to the cylinder. And a timeout call by Montverde Academy. Head coach Kevin Boyle asked for the timeout with 5:57 to go in regulation here. Montverde 78, Lake Oswego 42. So you're to look at what Jazz Johnson can do from deep. And a very pure stroke for Lake Oswego now. Obviously one of the more elite programs there in the state of Oregon. They'll take this loss, and they'll take on Rainier Beach tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Tomorrow's schedule is going to be full of good games from across the board, both Oregon schools and, of course, Wheeler and Montverde both in action. Yeah,
that Rainier Beach Lake Oswego game is going to be good. Rainier Beach not quite the same team that they were last year. They still like to play up in the passing lanes and like to play with a lot of speed. They have a lot of length there. And so it should be that should be a really good matchup to kind of see if they're going to be able to. Rainier Beach isn't known for their defense, and it'll be able to. Interesting to see how Jazz Johnson plays. If he's going to be able to create the same way he has here tonight. And if he can do that, Lake Oswego has a pretty good chance against the Beach.
You said you saw Central Catholic as well get that impressive win. I know at this point, pretty much no one stacks up evenly with Montverde Academy. Did you see anything that they could do that might be able to play a little bit better than how Lake Oswego is matched up?
Yeah, the one thing that Central Catholic does is, well, actually 2 things. One, they're disciplined. So they're not going to take any bad shots. They're not going to make a lot of turnovers. Their biggest problem is going to be their ball handling. They have Devontae Strickland and they have Hallinan, and those are their 2 guys. But they're going to get a lot of pressure from Montverde. So, but they're a physical team, so they're going to be down low. They're going to be trying to push this team around, and it'll be interesting to see kind of how Montverde reacts to that.
They've been able to play their second and third stringers for the majority of this second half as Jazz Johnson claims the miss. 5 minutes to go in regulation. Johnson, the pull-up and the hit. Boy, he can really scoot his way to any point on the floor and get some room. Now at the controls for Montverde is Mason Daniels. Over to the left wing to Fard Muhammad. Daniels, a little bit of a push off. Sends it on over to Mazurki. Down low it comes. Swinging it wide from Tyler Washington. A jumper, that one's in.
It's a good ball movement. We didn't see a lot of offense needing to be run early on, but you can see that they do have some offensive sets and they're able to execute in those situations.
Sure, that's what Kevin Boyle is hoping for with his timeout a moment ago. Jazz Johnson hits again. The last 3 times down the floor. 3-pointer, jumper, 3-pointer. Power move inside for Umazurki, and he's fouled. It'll be the 16th foul against Lake Oswego. They will call it. They'll call it on the floor, not in the act of shooting. So they'll inbound baseline with 4:15 to go in regulation. Tomorrow's action on Portland SportsBeat looks like this. It starts at 4:30 p.m. when Jesuit takes on Jefferson.
Actually, we're going to do the slam dunk contest tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Slam dunk tomorrow at 3.
3 o'clock, so we'll start about 15 minutes beforehand, and then we'll carry the slam dunk contest, and then the games will start.
Boy, that will be fantastic to watch. Houndshell, a 3-pointer from there is good. You mentioned Aaron Gordon a couple of years ago. He unleashed plenty of dunks in that slam dunk contest to win that. It's always a fan favorite event.
Yes.
Side here, and one that's going to be fun to watch, especially with the behind the backboard camera.
Yeah, we'll have lots of highlights. You can always check out highlights, portlandsportsbeat.com. We'll be putting stuff up there from each day. And then we'll have stuff at the end of the tournament. We'll do some highlight mixes from each of the players so that you can check those out as well. So we'll definitely have some for Simmons and Brown from Wheeler and some of these other players. So PortlandSportsBeat.com is where that will all be located. It'll also be up on YouTube.
And a bunch of updates come your way via Twitter as well.
PDX SportsBeat.
At PDX SportsBeat. Your home for everything. Portland local sports, and this is the headliner of the weekend. Todd is open for three, and he'll take it. He's well short. Rebound kept alive, and the hustle is out of bounds. Off of Umazurki, and Lake Oswego will take it. After the slam dunk contest at 3 o'clock, Jesuit and Jefferson at 4:30. That'll be a nice matchup. Of course, Jesuit a 75-52 loss to Wheeler last night, which was their second game in the same day. They played at 9 o'clock earlier, then they played at 8:30. And they'll take on a Jefferson side that just lost to Westland 64-50. Had a tough time making their three-pointers as Johnson spins inside, scores it, and is fouled. Is there anything this guy can't do?
That Westland Jefferson game, that was a really good game early. Jefferson, a different style of play than they've played in the past. Really rely on their guard, Strickland, and he's done very well this year. I think he's improved his jumper, which has been key for him. So.
And you saw him be pretty aggressive pulling the trigger in that one too, from about 25 feet away from the basket too. He's no stranger to the deep three. Unfortunately, it wasn't going down for Jefferson as much as they would have liked.
And of course, they have Robinson underneath, their 7-footer, who averages, I would say, 6 to 7 blocks a game.
He is a special talent. Johnson, will it go down? Why would I doubt it? The kid is unreal.
He's making his play for the all-tournament team.
He's made his last 6 straight shots, 3 three-pointers and a couple tough ones in the lane. Another basket for Montverde. And even though the score is lopsided, Jazz Johnson continues to impress. And he earns a foul here. He'll throw up another shot anyway.
Of course that goes in.
He's just smiling now. Oppenheimer looks at him and he's like, bro, are you kidding me? When are you going to cool down, son? 84-56 with 2.5 to go. Jazz Johnson will go to the line. Montverde now in the double bonus with their 10th team foul. And he's perfect on the first free throw. These are the type of players that are going to go to smaller schools like Johnson, go to the University of Portland, but I'm looking at him, PJ, and I want to go to University of Portland games next year just to see how this young man does. I mean, he's incredible. You
got a guy like Pooh Jeter who was there a couple of years ago at Portland State, so another local, and he played in the NBA, and so they get a lot of talent. Damian Lillard played in the same conference as Portland State, so some of these smaller schools you can definitely get some talent there.
Three-pointer is good for Montverde on the other end. Mason Daniels. Of course, Johnson just missed the second of 2 free throws. Go figure it'd be a free throw to break his hot streak. Dribble handoff to Houndshells. We're coming up on 2 minutes to go. And a 30-point lead for Montverde Academy. Daniels swiping at the ball. Johnson trying to gain some separation. Daniels, great hustle to keep it up. That ball's tipped away by the referee.
Good defense by the ref.
Hey, Drew Todd. He throws the ball up in the air and then hangs on the rim to make sure it goes in. But they'll call it a dunk with authority for Drew Todd.
Crowd gives him the applause. Not sure if it was a sarcastic applause.
Courtesy applause for Drew Todd for the effort. Johnson thought about stepping in. There's a spin move. Oh, and that one is blocked. He steps in again, out of control, but he's fouled. Maddox Daniels.
Here we get to see the dunk.
Oh, highlight reel.
I'll make him a special cut.
No, there you go. The top 10 dunks of the Invitational. That one's going on there, Drew Todd. 30-point game with $1:22 to go. As Johnson goes to the line for 2 more. But it sure got to be fun making some of those highlight reels. Some of the amazing plays that you see on a nightly basis.
It's great to see all this talent coming here to Portland. Of course, we have the Nike Hoop Summit that also comes in June, which I'm sure probably Ben Simmons will be here for that. So a lot of nice hand for Jazz Johnson as he takes a seat here.
Unbelievable night of basketball for him, especially in the fourth quarter, PJ, because in that third quarter, there was not much to come by. But in the fourth quarter, with some reserves in for Montverde, every shot he was putting up was going down.
Yeah.
A lot of reserves in for the academy right now as well. Right-hand dribble drive to the elbow. Pulling back is Muhammad. Loses the ball up ahead to Houndshell. That's a tough finish, and it won't go. Spinning inside, fading away. That jumper curls off the rim, no good. Rebound pulled out of the air by Balmer. Balmer takes the middle, throws it up, can't get it to go. It's blocked. Todd resets for Lake Oswego. We're in the final 30 seconds. Oppenheimer wants the three, can't get it. Oh, the two-handed tip follow. Wow. Rodney Houndshell. The three on the other end is good. The first three-pointer is good for Chris DeNono. It draws as a big reaction from his bench. That must be a guy that doesn't get much playing time. Might be his first three of the game or of the season. And they like to see that. Houndshell in the final 5 seconds. Over to Oppenheimer. 1 second. Houndshell, a deep three as the buzzer sounds. Front rim, no good. And that's the way it ends. Montverde Academy advances to the Les Schwab Invitational semifinal with a convincing 92-63 win over Lake Oswego here on this Sunday evening.
What did you do to prepare for this game and to put it all in there?
I watched a lot of film. I watched them when they played Bishop O'Dowd. So I just looked at a lot of situations where I could have open shots, so I took them.
We actually went to one of your games before and you were sick with the stomach flu. And, you know, a lot of your teammates were saying, we're missing our point guard, we're missing him. And I didn't believe them, but, you know, you really went out there. And what fuels you?
I just work hard. It's just every day I work hard, and that's what I go out to do every day.
You're already signed for college next year. What is this tournament doing for you?
It's just showing that I can play on the elite level and I'm able to do what I do on the next level.
Okay, congratulations. Awesome performance today. And keep it up. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley. Jazz Johnson with an outstanding second half and fourth quarter performance.